It all started with a PEZ dispenser. Not a doomsday device, not a galactic beacon, just a tiny plastic thing that spit out candy, shaped like a clown. And yet, the Galactic Intelligence Reconnaissance and Observation Network, GYRON, declared it a planetary threat. Admiral Zorvik stared at the hologram of the PEZ dispenser, his eye stalks locked on the grotesque plastic smile of the tiny clown head. His antennae twitched in agitation. "Explain," he hissed. Lieutenant Vryn, his communications officer, was visibly uncomfortable. His carapace had taken on a faintly greenish hue, a sign of extreme stress in his species. "Well, sir, preliminary scans indicate the Earth species regularly ingests compressed sugar tablets for pleasure." Zorvik's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Pleasure?" Vryn nodded. "And they store these sugar capsules in miniature replicas of their own leaders, decapitating them to consume the contents." The command deck went dead silent. Several crew members shifted uneasily. One ensign looked like he was about to eject his internal fluids. "They simulate beheading their own leaders? For fun?" Zorvik's voice was barely above a whisper. Vryn cleared his throat. "Yes, sir. Frequently." A long, uncomfortable pause. "These humans," Zorvik murmured, his voice filled with dread. "They play with death." But that was just the beginning. GYRON's initial findings were bad. The follow-ups, worse. Humans, it seemed, had a peculiar relationship with violence. "Sir, they invented a sport called paintball where they simulate warfare for recreation," Vryn reported, trying to keep his voice steady. "They use high-velocity projectiles to shoot each other for fun?" Zorvik barked. "Yes, sir, and they laugh while doing it." Zorvik's mandibles twitched uncontrollably. "They laugh while being attacked." Vryn's antennae drooped slightly. "Sir," he hesitated. "They celebrate it. Sometimes they call it team bonding." "Team bonding through simulated war?" "Affirmative." Zorvik took a moment, a long, long moment. "And this is considered normal?" "Yes, sir." But it got worse. Vryn pulled up another file. His claws tapped nervously against the control console as a video played. "They have an event where they build autonomous machines." "Machines?" Zorvik's voice was barely above a whisper. "Yes, sir. They call it BattleBots." The video showed two metallic constructs, covered in saw blades, flamethrowers, and spinning death traps, colliding violently as a crowd of humans cheered. Sparks flew. Metal crunched. One robot burst into flames. "They build machines to destroy each other? For entertainment?" "Affirmative." "And do they derive satisfaction from this?" Vryn's eyes dimmed. "Sir, they cheer and place wagers." Zorvik blinked. "Wagers on mechanical death?" "Yes, sir, frequently." And then came the incident. The tipping point occurred during what humans called the 4th of July. GYRON had dispatched a stealth drone to observe Earth's festivities. The footage was incomprehensible. "Sir," Vryn's voice cracked, "they're launching explosives into the sky." "Explosives?" Zorvik's mandibles clicked in horror. "Yes, sir, and they're celebrating." "Why?" "To honor their independence." Zorvik's antennae stood perfectly still. "Independence? Through explosions?" "Affirmative, sir." But it got worse. "Sir, they've created miniature versions of these explosives, and they allow their offspring to ignite them." Zorvik's eyes bulged. "They give explosives to their larvae?" "They call them sparklers." Zorvik's brain froze. "And they allow them to wave these incendiary devices near their faces?" "Yes, sir." "Voluntarily?" "Affirmative." Zorvik's claws gripped the console so tightly that the metal began to creak. "These creatures are insane." But even that was not the worst. "Sir," Vryn's voice barely registered above a whisper, "there's something else." Zorvik's gaze shifted toward his lieutenant, who now looked physically ill. "Spit it out, Vryn." Vryn hesitated, then activated the next hologram. A human was strapping rockets to a chair. Zorvik blinked. "What am I looking at?" "Sir," they attached propulsion devices to a seating apparatus. "Why?" "To achieve flight, sir." Zorvik's brain lagged for a moment. "They voluntarily strap themselves to explosives?" "Affirmative." "And what happens next?" Vryn sighed. "They launch themselves into the sky." "For what purpose?" Vryn shifted uncomfortably. "For fun, sir." Zorvik stared at the footage. A human taped to a lawn chair, attached to 42 bottle rockets, ascending into the stratosphere. "They celebrate exploding themselves for amusement?" "Yes, sir." Zorvik didn't respond, because he couldn't. His mind had completely short-circuited. He finally croaked, antennae drooping. How have they not annihilated themselves yet? Unclear, sir. Jorvik stared at the feed. Seal the borders. Sir, seal the borders. Because in that moment, Admiral Jorvik realized the terrifying truth. Humans didn't just survive chaos, they thrived on it. Admiral Jorvik had barely recovered from the Peas incident when the next crisis hit. The footage had been bad enough. Humans launching themselves into the sky with improvised rocket chairs? Horrifying. But now things had escalated. Sir. Vrin's voice was trembling. His eye stalks were twitching so violently they looked like they might detach. You need to see this. Jorvik turned slowly. His mandibles clicked, a nervous tick he hadn't managed to suppress since the Candy beheading scandal. Vrin, he growled. If this is another Earth catastrophe. Vrin didn't answer. He just played the footage. The hologram flickered to life, and Jorvik wished he had never looked. A group of humans in a field with sticks. Jorvik blinked. Is this combat training? Vrin's voice was barely a whisper. No, sir. Jorvik leaned in. The humans were swinging the sticks wildly at each other. Are they sparring? Vrin swallowed hard. No, sir. Jorvik's mandibles twitched. Then what in the 7 rings of Cathar are they doing? Vrin cleared his throat. They call it, he paused, antennae wilting, LARPing. LARPing, Jorvik repeated slowly, as if the word itself was a dangerous virus. Live-action role-playing, sir. Jorvik's antennae curled in confusion. They pretend to be warriors? Yes, sir, but without actual combat. And they attack each other with sticks? Foam swords, sir. Jorvik blinked. Yes, sir, to simulate battle safely. Jorvik's mandibles opened and closed several times. No words came out. They simulate war with fake weapons to pretend they are engaging in mortal combat? Yes, sir. Silence. And they enjoy this? Vrin's voice was barely above a whisper. They love it, sir. Jorvik's brain was still reeling from the LARPing catastrophe when the next horror arrived. Sir. Vrin's voice was quivering again. Jorvik didn't even look up. Vrin? His tone was exhausted. If this involves more recreational warfare, I swear by the cosmic void. Vrin hesitated. Sir, it's not war. Jorvik blinked. Not war? No, sir. That was almost a relief. Then what is it? Vrin didn't answer. He just played the next file. The footage was worse. Humans in colorful plastic suits. Jorvik's antennae twitched. Why are they wearing armor? It's not armor, sir. Jorvik squinted. Then what? A loud pop echoed in the footage. Jorvik recoiled. Sir, Vrin took a shaky breath. They're playing. Playing. Jorvik's mandibles clicked furiously. With what? Vrin's eyes dimmed with despair. They call it laser tag. Jorvik stared. Laser tag? Yes, sir. The footage continued. Humans shooting beams of light at one another while running through a maze filled with glowing neon obstacles. They're simulating warfare with lasers? Affirmative. Jorvik's claws flexed. Are they training their young? No, sir. Then what is the objective? Vrin's voice cracked. To have fun, sir. Jorvik's eyes glazed over. It should have ended there. It didn't, because then, sir, no. Jorvik didn't even look up. No more, Vrin. I've seen enough. Sir, this is important. Jorvik sighed. Fine. What now? Vrin hesitated. Then he played the next video. Humans were gathered in a park, smiling, laughing. Jorvik blinked. They appear peaceful? For now, sir. Jorvik felt a sliver of hope. What are they doing? Because at that exact moment, a small, colorful object flew through the air. Jorvik squinted. Is that a disc? Vrin's antennae drooped. Yes, sir. Jorvik's head tilted. What is the objective of this game? Vrin's voice was barely above a whisper. They throw the disc and chase it. Jorvik stared. They chase the disc? Yes, sir. Why? To catch it. And then they throw it again. Silence. They voluntarily engage in endless pursuit? Yes, sir. Jorvik's brain froze. Yes, sir? Tell me they are training their war beasts. Vrin's mandibles clicked. No, sir. Then who is retrieving the disc? Themselves, sir. Jorvik didn't respond because he couldn't. His mind had simply shut down. But then came the final straw. Sir, Jorvik's antennae drooped. Vrin, his voice was barely a whisper. If this is another Earth anomaly, Vryn didn't speak. He just played the last file. It was a competition. Humans lined up in rows. Is this a battle formation? Zorvik murmured. No, sir. A signal echoed. And then they started running. Zorvik's eyes narrowed. Are they training for combat? No, sir. Then what is the objective? Vryn's voice was barely above a whisper. To cross the finish line first. Zorvik blinked. And what do they gain? A medal, sir. Zorvik stared. A small decorative object? Yes, sir. Silence. And what happens to those who do not win? Vryn shifted uncomfortably. They receive nothing, sir. Zorvik's mandibles twitched. So they expend enormous energy, push their bodies to the limit, risk injury. For no guaranteed reward? Yes, sir. Zorvik's antennae drooped. They willingly endure suffering for the mere possibility of recognition? Affirmative, sir. Zorvik didn't move. He couldn't. Because in that moment, Admiral Zorvik realized the terrifying truth. Humans didn't just survive chaos. They thrived on it. Admiral Zorvik was done. He had seen too much. Humans weren't just unpredictable. They were unstoppable. And now they were here. The Galactic Council had called for a diplomatic summit to clarify Earth's status. Zorvik had begged them not to. You don't understand, he had warned. They're not like us. But no one listened. They are a fledgling species, Ambassador Yultrax had said dismissively. They can be reasoned with. Reasoned with? Zorvik had nearly exploded. They celebrate explosions. Yultrax had waved him off. They are primitive. We will guide them. Guide them. Sure, Zorvik had seen guidance end with a man duct taping bottle rockets to a lawn chair. But it didn't matter. The council was set. And now, Earth's delegation had arrived. They didn't send a diplomat. They didn't send a general. They sent Chad. Zorvik's antennae drooped the moment he saw him. Sunglasses, indoors, chewing gum like a man who feared nothing. And the shirt, Cool Ranch, flavor of the gods. Zorvik's claws clenched the console so hard it creaked. We're doomed. Sup, dudes? Chad grinned as he casually strolled into the Galactic Council chamber, hands in his pockets like he was about to order a burrito. Ambassador Chad? Yultrax began, his tone dignified. We welcome you to this. Yeah, Chad interrupted, popping his gum. So where's the snack table? Zorvik physically winced. Snack table? Yultrax blinked. Yeah, man. Chad looked around casually. Gotta fuel up before negotiations, you know? Yultrax's tendrils quivered. This is a formal proceeding of galactic consequence. Chad nodded seriously. Cool. So snacks? Zorvik closed his eyes. Please let this be a nightmare. It got worse. Perhaps we should begin, Yultrax said, trying to regain control. Chad plopped down in his chair, slouching like he was watching TV. All right, lay it on me. Yultrax's eyes narrowed. We are here to discuss Earth's activities. Uh-huh. Chad nodded, popping another bubble. The council is concerned. About? Trax's tone sharpened. The chaos, the unpredictability, the recklessness. Chad blinked. That's bad? Yes! Zorvik finally snapped. That's bad. Chad tilted his head. Huh, weird. We just call that Tuesday. Zorvik's claws twitched violently. The council members shifted uncomfortably. Ambassador Chad. Yultrax tried again, his tone now strained. Your species engages in activities that threaten galactic stability. Like what? Explosives. Chad shrugged. They're festive. Simulated warfare. Paintball. It's cardio. Automated destruction. BattleBots, dude. Engineering at its finest. Weaponizing furniture. Chad blinked. Oh, Couch Force 1? Yeah, that was epic. Zorvik's antennae drooped further. Yultrax's composure was slipping. And launching yourselves into the atmosphere? Chad grinned. Bro, we called that lawn chair Larry. Absolute legend. Zorvik buried his face in his claws. But then, there is one more matter, Yultrax said softly, his tendrils curling in obvious discomfort. Chad raised an eyebrow. We have reviewed footage of a particular event. Zorvik's antennae twitched. What event? Chad asked, suddenly curious. Yultrax hesitated. The potato incident. Zorvik's claws froze. Oh. Chad's grin widened. Spud Strike. Zorvik's mind went blank. Spud Strike? Yup. Chad popped another bubble. Des Moines Middle School Science Club, baby. The Science Club? Yultrax's voice cracked. Yeah, man. They built a potato cannon. Chad's eyes gleamed with pride. Set a new altitude record. A record? 40,000 feet. The council gasped in horror. Zorvik's mandibles twitched uncontrollably. You propelled a starch-based vegetable into near orbit? Chad's grin was blinding. Twice. Silence. With glitter. Why? Yultrax practically screamed. Chad shrugged. Science fair. Zorvik's brain officially gave up. I need to lie down, but it wasn't over. Oh, wait. Chad tapped his chin. We also attached a GoPro the second time. Yultrax's tendrils spasmed. You recorded the flight? Chad nodded proudly. Yup, the footage went viral. Zorvik's claws twitched. Viral? Chad grinned. Millions of views, dude. We even put dubstep over it. Dubstep? Silence. What is dubstep? Chad's grin grew wider. Wanna see? And that was when the Galactic Council broke. Ambassador Yultrax fainted. Zorvik? Gone. His brain disconnected, because on that day, the galaxy realized they had misunderstood humanity. They weren't just unpredictable. They were unstoppable. And somewhere, a middle school science teacher was preparing Spud Strike 2.0 with bigger potatoes and more glitter. The universe was not ready. Admiral Zorvik had seen enough. The council was in shambles. Ambassador Yultrax was still unconscious, his tendrils twitching periodically as if reliving some unspeakable trauma. The other council members? Shell-shocked, eyes wide, antennae drooping, mandibles hanging open. And Zorvik? Zorvik just stared, because Ambassador Chad, was currently showing them the footage. Spud Strike 2.0. It was worse than Zorvik imagined. Oh, here it comes, dudes. Chad's voice was filled with glee. The potato launched at Mach 2, covered in glitter and dubstep. Zorvik's claws dug into the table. Why is it making that sound? Sick, right? Chad grinned. We added bass boosts for dramatic effect. Zorvik's antennae curled inward. Dramatic effect? Yeah, man. Chad leaned back, arms behind his head. Gotta give the people what they want. The people? Oh, yeah. Chad popped his gum. We live-streamed it, got like 12 million views. Zorvik's brain glitched. 12 million? Zorvik blinked. Why? Science, dude. And then it happened. The footage showed the potato reaching maximum altitude. The glitter dispersed, creating a shimmering aurora visible from low orbit. And that's where we hit peak views. Chad pointed proudly. Right there. Boom. Zorvik's claws twitched violently. They watched this for entertainment? Oh, yeah. Chad nodded enthusiastically. We even did a countdown. Countdown to what? Impact. Zorvik's mandibles snapped shut. Impact. Yeah, dude. Chad's eyes sparkled. We wanted to see how much force a potato can generate on re-entry. Zorvik's mind shut down. Re-entry? Direct hit, too. Direct hit? Yup. Zorvik's antennae drooped. What did it hit? Chad blinked. Oh, a barn. Zorvik froze. A barn? Yeah, Farmer Jeff's place. He was cool about it. Zorvik's mandibles clicked involuntarily. Cool about it? Totally. Said we gave his cows something to talk about. Zorvik could not. The council was barely functioning. Seal the borders, someone whispered weakly. Dismantle the wormholes, another voice croaked. We can't let them spread, a third murmured in horror. Zorvik just stared at Chad. Ambassador Chad? His voice was barely above a whisper. Sup, bro? Zorvik's claws tapped nervously against the table. I must ask, one final question. Chad leaned forward, eyes narrowing like he was about to receive top-secret intel. Hit me. Zorvik took a deep breath. Why? Chad blinked. Why? What? Zorvik's antennae twitched. Why do you do these things? Chad frowned, as if the question itself confused him. Why not? Silence. Why not? Zorvik repeated slowly, his brain struggling to process. Yeah, man. Chad shrugged. Life's short. Might as well make it interesting. By weaponizing vegetables? Dude. Chad's face lit up. That wasn't just a vegetable. That was a statement. A statement? Yeah, Zorvik regretted asking. A statement about what? Chad's grin was blinding. About possibilities, bro. Blinked. Possibilities? Yeah. Chad leaned back again. Like, what else can we launch into space? The council collapsed. One ambassador fainted. Another tried to phase shift out of the room but failed. Yultrax, still unconscious. Zorvik couldn't move because Chad wasn't done. Anyway, Chad stretched casually. That's just the beginning. The beginning? Zorvik's voice was barely a whisper. Oh yeah. Chad nodded. We're working on Spud Strike 3.0. Zorvik's brain seized. There's another one? Dude, Chad's grin was dangerous. This one's gonna be epic. Zorvik's antennae drooped lower. What? Are you launching this time? Chad's eyes gleamed. Watermelons. Zorvik stopped breathing. Melons? Yup. Zorvik blinked. Why? Science, bro. Zorvik's mind short-circuited. Admiral, Vrin's voice was barely above a whisper. Zorvik turned slowly. They're planning more. I know. We have to stop them. Zorvik said nothing, because deep down, he knew it was too late. They had already started. And then Chad said the words that broke the galaxy. Hey, you guys ever think about strapping rockets to a fridge? Zorvik's mind imploded. Seal the borders. Sir, seal the borders. Because in that moment, Admiral Zorvik realized the universe was not prepared for whatever was coming next.